This ridiculous-looking fellow is very famous but not very good professional football player Brian Bosworth, who's probably best known for getting ran over by Bo Jackson. Number 2 on his list of accomplishments is today's movie, Stone Cold, where he plays a cop named Joe or something. It doesn't really matter. He goes undercover and changes it immediately. Some more background on his character, though. He owns a monitor lizard.
Why don't they ever listen?
And he has an insanely hot girlfriend.
What's the matter, Lance? Haven't you ever seen one of those before?
Yeah, but not quite that well made.
Ray from the future here. Don't get mad at me for calling her Joe's girlfriend. That's her name in the credits.
Again, this has nothing to do with the plot at all, but I just put him in there for the jokes. The movie is about a cop named Joe Huff who is asked to go undercover into a biker gang that's been killing a shitload of people to protest the death penalty, I think. The movie does begin with him kicking the ass of some people trying to rob a store, though. So we get into the action right away.
Don't you fucking move, man.
Relax, man. Look, I'll buy the damn thing, all right?
You gotta say for yourself this time.
You gotta clean up on aisle 4.
So, it turns out he's on suspension, but he can get off suspension if he goes undercover in this badass biker gang that is completely insane, shooting automatic weapons at each other.
Come on, that's it. Give me some head, baby. Try that, motherfucker.
He tries to get into the gang by helping them in a bar fight, but William Forsythe just gets pissed off with him nonstop and doesn't want him in the group. After winning a motorcycle race against Forsythe, he fights the worst professional wrestler of all time, Tom McGee, in a pit fight. I have so many notes on this movie. It is insane. Like, every minute something happens. 1645, 18, 1930, 2220, 2410. These are the timestamps for all this shit I'm supposed to mention in this movie. Lance Henriksen offers Bosworth his old lady, which is his biker girlfriend, as a prize for something, or as a thank you gift to enter the group. I don't understand, but Bosworth doesn't bang her and she gets all upset.
Take my old lady and you have some fun, all right? Talk business later.
All I'm gonna do is show you a real good time.
No, you're not.
Why not?
Because unlike your own man, I never thought a pretty lady was something you just gave away.
The main antagonists to our biker gang, if you want to be rooting for the murderers, is Whip, a politician who's going to re-sentence one of their members to death after killing a priest.
I intend to appeal this sentencing as many times as it takes to get the death sentence.
As I said, this movie's non-stop insanity. Bosworth's supposed to kill a guy for the gang, but fakes the killing. One of the gang members gets blown up by a fucking grenade for collecting from hookers on the mafia territory.
You should be one of those solid gold dancers. Performance like that, I'd take a bow.
Oh, yeah? You know what? Don't fuck with me, okay?
Oh, no, really, seriously, take a bow.
That damn bike is collecting in my territory. There's that little son of a bitch. Oh, shit!
They try to make a deal with these mafia people in order to run this special drug, but the entire time William Forsythe is yelling at Lance Henriksen to stop including Bosworth in this shit. We don't know who this guy is. He showed up like 2 days ago, and you're letting him in on all the plans. But Henriksen's going more and more insane, just starting to kill random people.
They want to see our papers.
I got papers. Wait. How about these? Papers. Use these. Deliver this fucking whip. Tell him it's a campaign contribution.
Ray from the future here again. I got things a little out of order. This is the point where old lady Nancy tells Boz that she's unhappy and wants to leave the group.
Remember your brand? GFBD. God forgives, brotherhood doesn't. You can't leave this place. Because if you do, you'll become the hunted.
Who cares, Stone? Let him kill me. Let him try. I'm gonna take my chances.
Somewhere in here, Lance Henriksen has called up a friend in traffic control to run Bosworth's ID. He's going under the name of John Stone, and the old lady answers the phone and is told that the ID is connected to someone named Joe Huff, so she confronts Bosworth about it.
There's a lot of things I can accept, and there's even more I can ignore. Look at me. Look right at me. Tell me you're not a cop.
You're out of a cop. Satisfied?
At this point, I want to talk about a different movie. A movie called American Muscle. A guy gets out of prison and is going to rescue his wife from his own brother, who has turned his wife into a coke whore. She bangs everybody in the gang, male and female, and has been forced into his life of prostitution. So he's going to go save her. He goes and saves her, and she says, "What are you doing? I love being a coke whore," and shoots his ass and betrays him. That's what happens in this movie because old lady doesn't want to say sir to her mom and dad, so instead she just prostitutes herself and hangs out with murderers. And you know what's going to happen to her? The same thing that happens to the wife in American Muscle.
So what? Are you asking for my undying devotion now? No. Joe Huff. I want to break your heart.
And it, of course, ends with a giant battle of machine guns, bombs, and helicopters.
Hey, stop!
Overall, As I said, Brian Bosworth was very popular in the 90s, so this movie is out there. It's well known among action flick people, and there is so much in this movie. I don't know how many movies I've done that have more notes than this. There's just insane amount of everything. Always something happening. Is it always something good? No. Do I have problems with the fact that murderous biker gangs are somehow not terrible? Yeah. But hey, it's Brian Bosworth. There's a couple pretty ladies. There's a lot of explosions and gunfights. There's even a fucking helicopter in there at one point. What's not to love? Check it out. It's cheesy action at its best. This movie is directed by Craig R. Baxley, who's good at many things but doesn't seem to be good at doing two things at once. He was an actor in the 70s, a stunt coordinator in the 80s, a director in the 90s, and then retired when he ran out of shit to do, I guess. The actors in this one, Lance Henriksen and William Forsythe, you know. Brian Bosworth was also in a movie called One Man's Justice, sometimes called One Tough Bastard. Another action film I've seen. The only other thing I've seen him in is a skit on Mad TV where a husband catches his wife cheating, but when he finds out it's Brian Bosworth, he's totally okay with it and even wants to record them having sex. Terrible pro wrestler Tom McGee shows up in this. There's been tons of videos about him you can look up. And Magic Schwartz shows up in this a little bit. The only other person of note is insanely hot girlfriend, Laura Elbert. She, through the 90s, played stripper and nude woman in all of her roles, but then in the mid-90s became a stunt woman and has 161 stunt roles and still works on the reboot of Magnum P.I. that's out now. Ray from the future here. Please leave a comment with any suggestion for movies you want me to review. This was a request. I tried to get to them eventually. I left out so much in this movie, so there's tons for you to watch and see for yourself. Thank you for watching. As always, I shall try to do better next time. And here is a bonus clip of them testing out a bulletproof vest.
Jump down, turn around.